All right, hi, Richard Moore here from 8 Step Startup. Hope you're having a good day. I got a great question this morning from one of my clients, and they were quite keen to understand a bit more about how they might deal with the fact they have so much on their plate. You know, I mean, the reality is this is a great problem to have. If you have a lot going on, if you have huge amounts of work to do, it's an indicator, hopefully, that something's going right for you with your startup. So the reality is that if you have lots and lots on your plate, we need to work not just to complete all these tasks, but also to ensure that you are being efficient as well, because part of being successful isn't just being successful in your business, but also being successful in the managing of yourself as well. So this is your time, your body, your energy levels, all your resources need to be factored here. So what I decided to do is share with this person the 3 approaches you can take to I suppose dealing with a heavy workload. I mean, some of the people I speak to, they're pulling huge shifts at the moment, 19, 20-hour days, and so I recognize fully that that's a tiring thing to have to do. So what you need to think about is what approach you're going to take. So the 3 types that I know of, and kind of the 3, if you like, the 3 methods or approaches to dealing with a heavy workload. The first one is called the unenlightened. And it sounds like it's a bit derogatory, and it kind of is in a way, because it's basically, the enlightened person is someone who doesn't do anything about the fact they have huge amounts on. The enlightened person will not focus at all on organization, they will focus on the hustle. Now, the hustle's been romanticized quite a lot over past years, and saying that you're hustling, it sounds like a great thing, and sure, you have to do it to an extent when you are starting up a business, because there's a lot going on, right? Fine. But hustling day in, day out as the way of working is tremendously inefficient when there are things you can do about it. And essentially, the personality type I label the unenlightened is the one who will do everything that needs to be done, and they will put themselves last. So what this means is that sleep comes last, exercise comes last, eating comes last. I can speak with authority on this because I've also tried this approach in the past. I went through quite a long period of time when I was working for a large part of growth in a business. This was many years back, and I just put everything to one side, to the point where I didn't even bother seeing family. I was booking hotels near to the office at the time, just to make sure I could get in earlier and earlier. I had a key to the office so I could be there. Get a light on so you can see me a bit better. I had a key to the office so that I could be there, from through the weekend as well, or from the crack of dawn. But work got done, but the quality of work was less and less as I went along. So that's the unenlightened. They're the people who recognize there's loads to do and just do everything. The next level is what I call the essentialist. And if you look at this kind of revolution, I think it's Greg McKeown released a book through LinkedIn. He pushed it quite heavily last year, called Essentialism, and he had something with it. I really think he did. And it's this power of saying no to things. I discovered a long time ago that saying no is actually a very valuable tool, because it's good sometimes to not engage with every single opportunity, but only on the basis that this is with your lines of work and lines of focus, as I've talked about in the past, as long as those things are taken into consideration when making those decisions. But the essentialist will possibly decide to forego opportunities or ways in which they might make more money and expansion and growth and things like that, in favor of ensuring that they have a tremendously balanced life. An extreme version of an essentialist is someone who's also what's, as a classic term, the job's worth. This is someone who hits 5 o'clock and they say, that's it, no work whatsoever, now is time to relax and just chill out a bit. And arguably that's not the most balanced way of working, because you're being a little bit too absolute about things and not being too flexible. But in short, an essentialist is someone who say, I've got a lot on my plate, what things can I say no to and pass off, and they just do the things that are basically essential. That doesn't mean that work quality declines so much. It does, however, mean that they simply don't move or grow as fast as they otherwise might. And then finally, which I feel is more the aspirational model, is the streamliner. So a streamliner will focus more on not just doing all their stuff during the day, but building in time, or time islands as I've called it, to each of their days to focus on how they may optimize or streamline their time. So a time island might be put in place each day, and you then can use that, say 15-20 minutes, to review your workload and always ask your questions. So what could be outsourced? What could be delegated? Is it time to get an assistant or even a virtual assistant to start with? Are there trivial tasks that actually heavily take time resource from me that I could otherwise give to someone else, or perhaps automate? And with the streamlining comes a lot of automation. A classic example is if you're one of these people who uses Facebook a lot, well, you download the Buffer app rather, for an example, and of course then you schedule it all, and then it's done for the week. And I, for instance, with two of my businesses, I have the Facebook component dealt with by them, so I don't have to spend the time it would take to build all of these posts in. It streamlines things, and the time you save across a week is time you could spend on the higher level things. So streamlining, the idea is you're not saying no to things, but you are taking a small step back at times and thinking to yourself, well, how can I improve my efficiency? Everyone naturally has, for example, an amount of time they should spend each day, or each evening rather, when they go to sleep. They should spend maybe 6 hours sleeping. Some people naturally should spend 8 hours sleeping, whatever their body needs. So you should probably give your body what you need. And I think Tai Lopez was a good example when he said, don't mess around with sleep too much, when he was asked how many hours do you sleep. And I've said in the past as well, there's no nobility in saying you only get 3 hours sleep. No one's going to be very impressed with you, and in fact it's pretty stupid, unless your body genuinely is of a genetic disposition where it doesn't need more than 3 hours sleep, then fine. But I've yet to find someone who genuinely is like that. So the point here is that you're streamlining yourself. Some things you have to do, right? So some things, some administrative tasks need to be done, fine. But what things could you outsource to other people so that you can get everything done, but without that stress? It's the complete polar opposite or antithesis of the unenlightened character. So hope that's of value. Think hard on this. Are you currently unenlightened? Are you an essentialist? Or are you a streamliner? See which one you can work with. And you tend to find, I do too, that the faster success ironically comes from when you spend more of your time focusing on how to optimize yourself and save time, rather than just trying to hustle all the time. So think about that, and obviously it changes based on which stage you're in with your startup. And just before I get loads of emails and comments about this, the reality is I know that there's ebb and flow with this, and at times you'll always need to be a hustler, at times you'll need to be an essentialist, but ideally in the main I would suggest strongly you optimize every facet here and do your best to be the streamliner. Anyway, I hope that helps, and I'll speak to you soon.